time for it to start raining for the first time in whenever. We got our sprinklers in. James has been working for the last couple of days. He ran pipe. I'll show you more on the video. I'm gonna back this up and kind of explain the process, but it's temporary. We have it hooked to a hose right here. And then he ran 1/2-inch pipe. Is that right, babe?
Yep.
1/2-inch PVC pipe down and around, and then we ran this tubing here, and then each one goes to a sprinkler. We're putting in some irrigation so that this garden can get some water when it needs it. So he's digging holes, trenching out. I'm gonna put some pipe and be able to hook the water hose up to it, and maybe eventually it'll go to the actual water source, but for now it can have a water hose. But that way we can put it on a timer, and if we happen to not be home, which is not anytime soon, but if we're not home, then we'll be able to still water our garden and not worry about it. So yeah, we'll update. It's gonna be something along these lines. We've got this 1/2-inch black tubing here that's flexible, and then there'll be some 1/4-inch that comes off of that with little sprinklers and things. And that's my mound. It's got pipe running there. I'm gonna give you an updated tour here pretty soon. My Hill Country okra has a little baby okra right there. That's exciting. And I noticed over here, got some squash blossoms going. To show you the sprinklers, we've got 3 in each bed, and they seem to be covering really well. So this is good. This is good. We'll be able to put this on a timer and let it run early in the morning. Yay for sprinkling and water. We wanted these small sprinklers so that the water would not come from above. With tomato plants especially, you want to keep the water low. A dripper hose is nice, but you have to run those an awful lot. So these are a very low sprinkle pattern when the wind's not blowing, but they will keep them underneath, because eventually there will be no leaves all lipped there, at least 12 inches. So these will not sprinkle on the leaves. These sunflowers are just getting really big. So, but my tomato, the very first tomato of 2020, right there. And that is a Brandywine. A Brandywine tomato. Some peppers going. These tomatoes, you can see, are just going crazy. They're getting so tall. I'm going ahead and letting the bloom stay now. These are currant tomatoes, so I'm letting them get a little bit taller before I really prune them. My artichokes are getting some new leaves. This is holy basil. And what else? Let's see, I saw something really exciting happened. Where is it? There it is. Let's see if I can get you down in there. There it is, the very first tomato of 2020. Look at that beautiful blue pea. Oh my goodness. And the pods on this are yellow. The pods on this one are yellow, and the bloom is blue. It's very pretty. We had one that filled out on those. These have peas. These are getting so tall. I love the blossoms. They're so beautiful. Had something nibbling on them. Not really sure. I think I need to pull out the diatomaceous earth a little bit. But these tomatoes, oh my goodness, they're already up to the bottom of the trellis. It's really exciting. I tied up a few of these over here that had laid over because of a wind storm the other day up in North Alabama. I think there was some tornadoes. We didn't have any of that, but the wind just blew really hard and blew them over. So I went ahead and tied them up like that, just kind of loosely, because I didn't want them to just lay over. And I've pruned them, which I do have a pruning video. I do mine based on what Jess does on Roots and Refuge YouTube channel. She teaches you to trim them back pretty hefty, and so I do. I still have these guys right here. I'm trying to decide if I have room to put them in. That Grande Tomatilla is going bananas, and there is a sweet little honeybee coming to do his work. That's exciting. Rapiconte zucchini that is gonna go up this trellis, and it has really taken off. Tons of blossoms coming. Super excited about that. These are supposed to be really yummy. This is a super healthy plant. It's looking really good. Now that it's getting some water, it's gonna be really good. Some cucumber, some more tomatillas, more cucumbers. These are the ones my friend Misty started, and they are already climbing the trellis. So we should start seeing some blooms soon. In fact, there is a baby. Where is it? There is a baby. Not much has happened in this bed, except I did pull almost all of the carrots. Most of them were pretty decent size. I had 3 different colors. There's a white one. That was tiny. The beets are growing. I get some water on these. I think that might be the problem here. This bed is looking a little more sparse. I went ahead and put in a couple tomatoes. I'm gonna put one more right there, but this bed, bought it at Sam's probably 7 or 8 years ago, and we moved it here, and it is seen better days. So I do have, I think I saw a couple little cilantros coming up, but trying to keep on these so they don't go too much. Still eating some kale, and we pulled all the carrots that were in here. Got blackberries all here. These are wild blackberries. I just can't bear to pull them up until after we eat them. Good. I've got lots of zinnias coming up. My purple basil I picked last week to get it to branch out. This is what you want to do with basil. You want to come in and you want to trim it. And you can see where there's little baby leaves right there. So I'd want to take this whole thing off when I come in to prune it. And that will cause it to branch out, and you will get way more basil than you would. These berries, crazy cherries, grown a couple inches. Cucamelons hanging on there. This is my Thai basil. Did the same thing with it, trimmed it up. And then the other side over here, got my oregano growing here. This all started from seed. We've got a climbing triple crop that is blooming, and I am letting blooms stand now. This is, they've been in the ground now for 3 weeks, I believe, and they are so strong. I'm letting them go. So you can see where I pinched off one leaf clump. Now I've got 2. Cucamelon is making its way up. And there's some cucumbers. Tons of zinnias coming up. Moved some over into a flower bed. We've got to get this water going too. But that's it for this week.